Do you know the map result?
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Thomas College Esports yet again. We're on a bit of a small schedule, so it's going to be a little rough. We're already a map deep, but that is fine, as my practice ran over time. But today we are going into Overwatch A Team versus Champlain College. And today I am actually joined by a fellow Overwatch player and caster, Cargo Tokens.
Hello, yes. It's me, Cargo, or Sam, former NECC tank player of the week.
Yes.
So it is good to be back in the caster seat. I'm excited to see Thomas College taking on Champlain today. Having taken on Champlain myself, I know they are definitely a good opponent. See, we're going to see on Gibraltar here, it's like the Winston on the side of Champlain. The
Yes.
Winston, a more classic hero comp on the side of Champlain, with the new Alari and Venture on the side of Thomas.
Yes.
Looking to take those high grounds, probably the SimTP to get onto that upper catwalk bridge.
Exactly. Yes, they're going to be doing a classic dive with the Hanzo as well. Hanzo maybe gets some nice picks, a little more mobile and safe in comparison to a Widowmaker. The SimTP comes out for the rest of Thomas, and they get the dive set up, take over bridge real quick, as Tracer is going to be able to push the card, try to get it as far as possible. If Champlain plays this right, it should be their Tracer that goes to contested. You can see that happens. Winston here going in for the dive is going to get booped off real quick, but with the quick mobility is going to be able to reset fairly nicely.
You can see a lot of Champlain's members getting really low, but Thomas unable to follow up on the Hanzo of the Tracer.
Exactly.
Jericho, Venture going in.
Neon,
Tracer duel.
yeah, Neon actually won the Tracer duel heal, and that's going to be a bit of an advantage for Thomas. Even though Aquilian did get slept here, he's going to be able to do what he wants here on the D.Va with the defensive Matrix and Bookshelf as well. But a nice headshot will actually pick off Rice Juice on the Brigida. Thomas is going to have to take a little peel, but in the meantime, we see Neon down here on the Tracer is able to push this cart, and it looks like they're making the rotate. Asleep comes out. Killer on the Venture able to put some pressure onto them, but it's not going to be enough for Thomas to keep the advantage as they have to wait for Rice Juice to come back.
Team Thomas kind of split at two angles here. We see Neon pushing that cart, kind of keeping both Tracers occupied. And Thomas just looking for an actual engage. That purple nade will probably be a good start.
And it was exactly as Killer's going in here. Gets on Kazuma. Kazuma will fall as well. And both supports for Champlain are already down, and that leaves it a 2v3 as Plankton falls to Neon. Thomas should be able to cap the first point here as a very nice nade with a Venture follow-up is going to lead to a team wipe for the side of Thomas onto Champlain, thus securing the first objective.
Champlain's committed their nano there, but I don't even see who it went on. It might have gone on to one of their players to hopefully try and save them, it looks like, but to no avail. Thomas is looking at a lot of good ults to this fight,
trying to get some staggers out
right
here.
Away.
Exactly, trying to get some stagger out, and they will find Plankton. Kazuma does fall a little low. They're trying to find the finishing blow, but it's not going to be enough yet, as there's going to be plenty of peel for the side of Champlain. A nice pulse on the Rice Shoes. Actually gets blocked by a shield. Excellent timing there. Coincidence, we'll never know. And now the 1v1 Tracer duel as Neon barely comes out on top at 8 HP. Going to try to get out, will get out. Thomas have already pushed this objective halfway, and they have so much pressure and so much space to work with. Bookshelf anti, though. The rally comes out to try to protect. It's going to fall with the Primal. Was just barely too late. And now Thomas is probably going to have to take a slow reset here without the main support. That is the Ana.
Yeah, we see the DPS for Thomas putting in so much work there. And in fact, I was a little worried there after going after Ana and Brig, all their protective utility, but ults committed on the side of both teams. The rally is going to see to hopefully counteract this dive on the side of Thomas. Torbjorn probably to keep the Tracer in line.
Probably. Rice Shoes a little anti, falling a little low, but we do see they do swap to the Cassidy here to try to lock down Neon even more, as Neon's just been an absolute menace. Does have the recall still available. The Nano onto the Winston on that high ground to try to go and deal with the rest of Thomas. We'll get the turret, and Aquilian will fall out of mech, but there's so much pressure onto him there that he has to jump out. Aquilian with the remech as well. Able to stay in the fight. And it looks like Knee almost falling there. Aquilian going to take this high ground. The Nano on top of Aquilian, able to try to shred. The High Noon coming out onto Plankton. Aquilian is just going to dive him. He's going to get booped back, but the High Noon is also going to get no value as the rally comes in here with Kazuma. They're trying to look to get Aquilian out of mech, trying to find some more picks. Killer does fall with the turret. It's just going to be that, but Neon's able to find Plankton on the flank there. Thomas able to push this payload almost to the fall. Both supports for Thomas a little bit low, trying to fall a little bit low. Bryce shoots will fall. Aquilian will get out of mech, but they do find Cosmo. They trade break for break. Neon will find Knee as well. Bookshelf's going to be 1 HP. Now there's no supports for the side of the Thomas College here, but an almost full cap from Neon, who's just casually pushing the objective. It's just Rig Pig on there. Cassidy does fall, and Thomas will secure this objective just barely.
Oh my! Neon coming in, almost getting a C9 on that cart, but forcing it in all the way. Just distracting Champlain members one-on-one who think they all try and 1v1 the Tracer. It looks like Neon comes out on top every single time.
Exactly.
This is going to be really good for Thomas because the interior of that map, like the inside a spaceship and those tight hallways, it actually makes it was a lot more beneficial to things like the Winston and the Brigida, but Diva's going to be able to use her jump jets or her booster jets here, get a lot more mobility on the side of Thomas.
Exactly. The Winston here going to have a little more trouble. We'll have the high ground to play off of, but the high ground can only do so much. As we see, he's trying to go on the back of the supports, but there doesn't look like there's really much follow-up. We do hear the pulse bomb come out. It does manage to find Killer in the background there. Aquilian will get demeched as well, and Thomas is just going to have to back up here and reset as they don't have a tank or a DPS to work with. The rally being committed from Rice Juice, though, is a little interesting. Kind of not necessary.
Not sure why you commit your rally there, but and your pulse bomb.
The pulse bomb from Neon is a little more acceptable as it's a Tracer, but even then,
yeah,
you would kind of hopefully wait for Aquilian to get back in mech. Rice Shoes does fall anyway. Rally would have been nice here.
Waking up and killing the Ana, unfortunately. Waking up the Winston to kill the Ana.
Exactly. Aquilian's going to get demeched, and it just kind of was a little bit of a messy fight. Aquilian's just going to have to go in and swap, and then swap back to Diva just so he can get back in mech.
I very clearly did not go the way Thomas wanted to. I assumed the rally was there to kind of surprise the side of Champlain, but they just choose not to engage into it. So now you're going into this fight. Both teams have Nano, and they're both building towards their DPS ults. Things.
Yeah, I would definitely say that Champlain has the advantage here with another pulse bomb, almost a rally, and only 10 away from the overclock. Killer's going in.
They're going to overclock before this fight even starts.
Exactly.
Damage off the Diva.
It looks like they are trying to find some pressure onto Winston here on the high ground. Killer falls a little low, and he's trying to find that final blow, but it's not going to be enough. Aquilian going in. Neon as well, the Nano coming out into Aquilian to try to keep him alive here as we see the overclock comes out. Winston gets a little anti there, falls a little low, just backs out. The overclock just being spammed, trying to create that pressure, trying to find picks, but Aquilian does find Nia on the Tracer. That is going to give them a slight bit of an advantage, but they do have 2 ultimates still, as we see the Winston jumping in there on the backline. Aquilian will get demeched. We do hear the rally come out from Kazuma on the background. Will find Killer, and Neon, who's also back there, and even though Aquilian's demeched, Thomas is going to be down a bit, but they do manage to find the Winston. Actually, huge pick there. A nice... Thomas just coming out on top, actually.
Thomas turning this around. They didn't get a chance to use their pulse bomb twice, and they didn't get to use their Nano. Thomas might be able to push this all the way in.
They're just going to stack 3. Plankton's going to slide on.
Rally.
We do see the excavation coming out from Killer's going to put a lot of damage. Cosmo should fall here. The Nano coming out, but he got antied right before. He does have Primal, though, to be able to sustain the rally coming out from Rice Juice. We do see that happen. Aquilian did get the mech back, able to find Rig Pig, and he's going to fall, and now it's just going to be the Winston. It's just going to be you. He's going to fall low, though. It's just going to be Plankton, but it's not going to be quick enough as Thomas is, with 40 seconds left, will be able to full cap here on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
I mean, no caster bias and all that, but I am very happy for Thomas pulling that out. It would look like they were pushing. Looks like they would be pushing uphill despite the map going down with all of those support ults on the side of Champlain, but they commit the rally. It gets a little bit of value, but Thomas is still able to find the Winston, who kind of goes on a solo dive onto their supports. The break on a line with you see the sleep and the nade. It makes it so hard for Winston to engage versus a Diva, because Diva you can eat both those things. You have set your mobilities on much shorter of a cooldown. Yes, the shield by Winston's good, but I don't know. I'm liking the Diva a whole lot more on the side of Thomas, especially for these engages.
Exactly. The Diva able to provide a nice bit of anti-dive as well as dive, depending on the situation, as you're able to eat things like the on a nade or the on a sleep, which are pretty huge things into a dive, anti-dive, just composition in general. So it's very useful.
I think this Nanoblade's actually coming out.
I think it's going to be a Nanoblade. I think they're going to be committing more to a full dive DPS line instead of a kind of like one dive, one kind of like
Nanoblade's
sit
scary,
back.
Rally doesn't really deal with Nanoblade. It doesn't help put enough healing. And you have the shield bash.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could be a dangerous win condition.
You do have like shield bash stun, you do have like an honest sleep, but really the biggest thing you can do is just hope you hit a whip shot or hope that some form of because otherwise the Nanoblade is just usually pretty much a pretty almost guaranteed fight win.
Yeah.
And as we see, he is putting a little bit of pressure down there. Neon's also getting pressured out. Will recall. They don't push the objective really as much. Killer a little low. In the dig. Trying to find Rapig though is near the edge. But as he comes out, they do trade Cosmo for Killer. That is once those both supports down for Champlain actually. A bit of an advantage for Thomas as they still have both of theirs.
The close one for Champlain really won't do much here because I'm still so dominant on this high ground.
Exactly, and with the supports being that high up and just kind of hard to dive, honestly, it puts Thomas at a pretty good advantage, especially with this Diva. And here we go. We do see the dive coming out, but he gets slept, he gets antied, he gets boosted, and already has to back up, and Plankton just wasn't there. Killer finds knee. They're going in there trying to find more. Aquilian boosting in, trying to find another pick. It's not going to be enough, but he's able to get out. They do see Rigpig, though. Rigpig in a bad situation. Going to try to get caught out, but Aquilian's going to get bubbled. Will get demaxed. Will fall. The pulse, unfortunately, whiffing. Not able to find anyone. We do see the Nano come out onto Rice Juice, getting antied. Rice Juice just running in there. Not really any support, but it will stall just a little bit. Rally would have been amazing there, but unfortunately not able to build it.
We kind of saw both the strengths and weaknesses of both the Winston and the Diva there.
We did. But here we see the Primal coming out. Bookshelf getting juggled in a corner, will fall. Killer falls a little low too. Cosmo commits the rally here, getting 1v1 by Aquilian. They will fall, but unfortunately... Oh, the Diva remake, though, coming out. Aquilian should be able to get back in. Aquilian will get back in. This is huge as now they have the rally. There is no Nanoblade, but there is just going to be a Blade committed. Neon does fall, and it is a slight bit advantage for Champlain here, but with the excavation coming out, they should be able to put a little pressure and force them back. Winston does fall a little postpone. The Killer will commit and will find the pick that they need. Rice Juice trying to protect Bookshelf from two divers here. Aquilian as well doing what he can, but it's not going to be enough. The nade protecting him just barely. As now Rice Juice is in there. We do have a Widow. We have a Widowmaker now, but Nia is going to find Rice Juice, who was a little bit too far in. You going on Neon here on the Widowmaker, who's trying to find a pick but can't find anything, and it looks like Champlain should be able to cap this first point here with 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock.
Ooh, that fight didn't really even stop.
It didn't.
kind of staggering themselves a little bit. But I assume we're going to see a switch off of this Widow. No way they're going to play Widow into a Winston.
It just doesn't seem reasonable, but... And there's the swap. Okay, it took a little longer than I wanted, but...
But coming into this fight, you got Nanos on both teams, but a lot more ult progress on the side of Champlain.
The Nano coming out onto you. He's in the backline, though. The Nano coming out here. Onto Aquilian as well. Nano v Nano. It looks like Aquilian will come out on top just because of the situation of the dive. Rigpig will find Killer, but Aquilian's able to put in a lot of pressure on the Cosmo here, trying to find a pick here. Neon's going to fall, and it's a 2v3. Rice Juice does get slept, but as the D-Flight comes out, he also gets slept. We're going to see if Rice Juice can pull this off, but looks like it's not going to be possible. As now Rice Juice is by herself. Will fall, and now it's just Neon here. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Killer does swap to the Torb. Torb immediately starts taking a big old nap. Gets dove by the Winston. Winston getting a nice nade. Killer's going to get a little bit low as well as Neon, but Champlain is going to manage to contest and cap onto this second checkpoint, pushing in a third with 4 minutes on the clock.
Quick second point for the side of Champlain, only committing the Nano there. Thomas doing the exact same thing, and even though I'd argue it was a better Nano, just overall the fight positioning from the side of Champlain was just superior. they got the high ground before Thomas was even able to. It's just the advantage of getting such a kind of like a stagger on the first point. Now even a stagger onto the second.
Exactly.
A little bit of progress.
Exactly, and especially with how quick it happened. A nice pulse, though, but the flick from Cosmo was able to block the pulse bomb. You don't see that too often, but that amazing reaction time from Cosmo saved his life, even with the rally as well, able to provide that support. So now you still are about, you have the Righteous with the primal juggle in the corner, but it's not going to be enough. My words getting jumbled, but the pulse as well in the bookshelf. Exactly, and Aquilian's stuck in the back line. I mean, just... even with the self-destruct, he's going to fall. And there's 3 minutes still on the clock, and it is looking bad for Thomas.
Neon switching to the Bastion, hoping to make something happen, but I don't even know if they're going to be able to touch.
Someone's going to have to get on. The Nano Blade finally coming out like we predicted, and it's immediately a triple kill with Plankton. And with 3 minutes on the clock, Thomas has got a lot to do here to try to win this. 3 minutes to 1 minute is a big difference.
Kind of questioning it before, but the Genji actually I really kind of like in this comp because he kind of just assists the Winston in taking these high grounds. Just because of his wall climb and his dash, he just can be a lot more mobile than something like the I guess the Torbjorn that Thomas was playing before.
Exactly.
Thomas is going to have to try. I mean, they had a pretty decent first hold and only really got broken after what is it? Aquilian kind of went down and then they got a good kind of engage on the top half after they were unable to kind of push the Winston off. So let's see, we're gonna see potentially the Juno. I kind of like the Juno. Juno can build you're kind of, well, you only have 1 minute, so you pick heroes who can build their ult relatively quickly. I didn't see much adaptation on the side of Thomas towards that fixing that Genji problem. Like me, I could be wrong, but times have changed. But
times indeed have changed.
Times have changed. Maybe Torbjorn counters Genji now. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like the Torbjorn is just able to put a lot more pressure onto those more dive-focused DPS. But I feel like overall it's still tough for a Torbjorn to try to survive into that comp.
Yeah. And I did like the Venture, and I assume we'll probably be seeing it again by Killer. But
I was about to say, I think Killer's just more comfortable on it overall, which goes to just adds more. Like, Venture's kind of a dive character, but Killer's also just more comfortable.
It's kind of like the Winston, where you just have to commit so much because you really have like one ability to get in. Ooh, that's not a good way to start.
The sleep into the leap kill is not good. That's already half a minute down, 30 seconds. They've barely got any push, almost half. We do see Killer on the Torbjorn instead of the Venture like we thought he would do. The Tracer 1v1, this is going to determine quite a bit here, but with Neon not really having the pressure, as well as the Cassidy peeling for their Tracer, it's going to be a little rough. Aquilian's going to fall on the Winston, trying to get the supports, but with no follow-up from his team, it's going to be a lot harder for him. And now there's 4 seconds remaining. They do have contest on the cart, but this high ground is uncontested, which is not ideal. The Ana flank on the background, Bell being forced out. We do see Bookshelf in the back line, the sleep onto the Winston. We do see Rake Pick does fall, Bookshelf does fall, and it looks like Champlain has the slight advantage here. Raishu's 1 HP, Raishu's will fall, and this should be a quick fight wrap-up for the side of Champlain as the rest of Thomas will fall, and just short of the first checkpoint, Thomas has finished their chance to attack and now have to try to defend for 3 minutes straight.
Ooh. Silver lining for Thomas. You at least got it up the hill, because if it was in like kind of like that bottom crevice near like bottom of the kind of the valley near that mega health pack,
like right in this area,
I would say it would be almost nigh impossible just due to the amount of pressure that Tracer can kind of push, like kind of just push it there for free.
Exactly.
It basically means you never get high ground. At least Thomas now has at least a chance of playing high ground instead of none at all.
Exactly,
arguably.
yes, because the Tracer usually has the job, as we saw earlier in the previous rounds, just pushing the cart as far as possible under this choke point here, as the high ground is more advantageous for the team, as well as that mega there in that corner. So it makes it really tough for a lot of teams, especially teams that like to play dive. Makes it really hard because it's more of like a tunnely type area. Whereas this high ground, very, very good for the dive comps, as there's a lot of places you can go with it, as well as position your supports to make something happen.
That's what's so rough about just having 1 minute. Like, even just after one pick, basically like that one, like Thomas was then staggered for their last 30 seconds.
Exactly.
It's so unfortunate. They never really got to contest high ground, meaning they pretty much gave up the point, which really, really sucks.
Exactly. I mean, it's one thing if it's a pick on your DPS, but for it to be a pick on one of your supports, it just makes it that much worse as well.
Back on the Diva.
Back on the Diva, I do like it. Raichu slept again down here.
This is in some
I don't-
disgusting sleeps.
Disgusting sleeps, but also what was the positioning here? What was the plan? I mean,
Thomas still has their Alari, or they're gonna die quick, disengage quick. You're gonna have. Well, I mean, you have to fight this, right?
yeah, you have to back up here. You cannot afford any more staggers.
Hope Champlain doesn't push their advantage, which it looks like they're actually playing this fairly conservatively.
Exactly. Their supports are set up in a good position. Their monkey's gonna go up to the top there. It's just gonna be knee, but the killer getting sniped out of the air by the right click is gonna put Thomas in dire straits. As now they have 2 minutes on the clock here for Champlain. Bookshelf. Turret does go down there. They are on the Genji. Raichu as well. Both supports there. It looks like they are able to hold on to it for a little bit. But the anti on the Bookshelf, he is going to be able to jump out. But with the anti as well as the follow-up, it's just going to be a pick for Champlain. And as the cart's about to round the corner, Raichu is 1 HP. Nano on to the Winston here. Aquilian is going to get demagged for sure. Neon gets stuffed in the back with the recall. Able to get out. Killer going up top. They are still alive. Neon's very low still. He does have Pulse Bomb. He's trying to build it. He does have it. He's trying to use it. He does get it out at 6 on the shield. The monkey does fall low, but it's not going to be enough as they get off cart for merely a second. And Champlain will finish out Gibraltar in a relatively clean fashion.
I gotta say, we're seeing probably an amazing Nano Blade here by Plankton, but Rig Pig on the side of Champlain has been hitting some disgusting nades and sleeps this entire match. I didn't mention it. I didn't get a chance to mention it before, but the round one attack from Thomas started with, I think, Bookshelf getting slept for like their first push. We didn't get to see it.
Exactly.
Little Z's. I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be the other way around, but let's see if Thomas can
maybe
bring
make
it home
something
in a
happen.
reverse sweep or reverse the tides and win the next two. Let's see if Thomas can push it into a reverse sweep.
Exactly. Just making sure I can get the
Yes, I imagine it's them.
just trying to get the first map scores. We didn't get to see what happened, so we can see. And it looks like Champlain is on match point already. Thomas down 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
So they have their work really cut out for them.
Yes. I mean, I still think this is absolutely winnable on the side of Thomas. It's going to be more about like kind of just locking in and really putting a lot more pressure on this Ana, so she can't just be so like kind of just controlling a lot of these fights. A lot of the fights you saw, like the sleep onto Rice Juice, the anti-nade on the Echo, which allowed the Winston just to follow up with a little like just taser right click. Like the Diva like can defend against these things, but when they're just coming at you from all angles, it can be really, really hard.
It can be. I mean, that's like the whole point of the dive there is to like protect that Ana, which is why you have that Brigitte. But if the Ana can hit those sleeps like Rig Big was doing, you almost don't need the Brig. The Brig's just there for some extra burst damage once you hit the sleep.
Yeah. Thomas seemingly using the tools more reactively while Champlain's really doing something with them.
They are. Then
is this just a difference in game style, or just Thomas not putting enough pressure on the sports to justify them holding on to these cooldowns?
I mean, who knows?
We'll have to see in map 3.
Exactly, and it looks like we do see Champlain as they won. They got the map ban. They did ban Colorado. We are going to put Colorado. Coliseo. I read that. I mean, I read that exactly like it was said, but it's Coliseo. Coliseo ban here on push. That is the next game mode, and it looks like we might be going to the classic Thomas College Runasapi. Anyone who's watched the stream before knows that Thomas likes to pick Runasapi for push, for whatever reason, I don't know, but they do seem to have a lot of comeback potential on this map, and it's usually been a pretty close game either way.
Well, I'll
So
tell you why they pick Runasapi, because it's not Esperanza and it's not New Queen Street. That's why you pick
exactly.
Runasapi.
New Queen Street, not really a fan favorite. And that other one, yeah, Esperanza. I mean, teams kind of did run that a little bit more back when it was just the 3 push maps of New Queen Street, Coliseo, and Esperanza. But now that Runasapi's out, I think a lot more teams prefer this map overall.
Hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do here, as Dive isn't really going to be a huge contender.
I imagine we'll see a lot more like Magua, like Orisa, those types of like tank lineup.
Yes.
Natural heroes that fall behind them, like the Sojourn.
And we've even seen that kind of comp before from Thomas College, which has netted a pretty good amount of success. So it's most likely we're going to see that. There is a chance we see something crazy like a Wrecking Ball composition, but even then I highly doubt it, especially with the dire straits that Thomas is in. I think it'd be better for them to stick to something more comfortable and something more consistent.
I'm summoning it in my mind. Doomfist.
Doomfist. That would be.
It might just be for Stagger, but I'm summoning it in my mind. Doomfist.
That would be quite out of left field for sure, and we will find out as we are now going into the next map here. It is in the waiting period, so everyone's just going to pick random stuff.
I saw Roadhog and I got so excited.
It would be pretty crazy if we did see the Roadhog come out, but like I said, I doubt it. As you know, you don't want to reveal what's going to be run for your comp in that waiting period. But here in about 20 seconds, we'll see what they actually want to run.
And when it comes to push, ult usage is going to be something that we're going to be tracking a lot, because the first fight is so important when it comes to push. It cannot be understated just how important getting that initial lead, so then you can conserve your ultimates when you attack, and then just use them when the enemy has to use theirs to attack.
Exactly, and especially being the one who wins the first fight to get the bot push is, I feel like, just sets the tempo for the game for a decent amount of the time on the clock. And hopefully Thomas will be able to capitalize on that. But as we're going into the match, actually, we are seeing a very different compositions, honestly, from both sides here. I mean, we have Champlain. The Genji mirror, yet again, like the kind of mirror for usually like either Tracer, but now we see it on the Genji.
On the side of Thomas, that is kind of surprising.
But we do see the Junker Queen comp coming out for the side of Thomas with the Genji Venture. The ball coming in with a nice slam on a Killer. Killer gets 1 HP, almost gets booped off the map there, but it's not going to be enough. They're just going to fight here. Thomas should realistically have more of the aggressive nature, but if Champlain can control the dive well, Raishu's going to follow. They do trade Ridpig for Raishu's, though, which is actually kind of in favor of, I say it at the last second, as Bookshelf gets picked off. And with that, Thomas is just possibly going to fall, as they don't really have that much sustain on the side of Thomas, but unless Aquilian can do something, but it's not really going to happen.
That is so rough on the side of Thomas. You get that pick onto Ridpig, who will switch actually off of the Ana and onto the Kiriko. I think that makes a lot more sense. Just the Ana risks just getting like kind of run over by Thomas's like very aggressive comp. Switching over to Sombra now instead of the Genji. Looks like they just want to bully this ball, get him get him completely off this.
I mean, you can see Neon looking for the wrecking ball. The slam coming out doesn't get the heck out really, actually, as there was some damage and eruption. Aquilian kind of going in onto the back line. Bookshelf does find a nice headshot, it looks like, onto knee. Killer on the Tracy here, trying to put some more pressure on the back line. It looks like Thomas is kind of trying to make them split up a bit. Ridpig is kind of on the side there. Cosmo is going to try to look for something, but will fall. Neon not really able to do a whole lot 1v1 against the ball, but able to distract the ball long enough that Thomas is able to get a few picks off. The TP from Ridpig comes out, but it looks like you with the mines. They are committing this. It looks like they want to try to get this checkpoint at the very least. Plankton will fall, though. Another slam from you, but with Neon coming back as well, it's just not going to be a whole lot of success.
Switching. I can't imagine that they're going to try and stay on that. Oh, they're going back to the Ana. And they're keeping the ball.
And they're keeping the ball. It looks like they have faith in the ball regardless of Thomas's playstyle right now.
That's interesting. All right. Well, we're almost at pulse bombs on the side of both teams. And no Nano Blade because Nano was... Oh, because they swapped out... Yeah, because they swapped out...
They swapped out Liana, yes. Liana, Rigpig sitting in the back. The Kitsune coming out from Bookshelf. You able to get hacked and found and finished off, and now Thomas has some more advantage as well. Surely they get off the ball now, as it's just not working as well anymore. But we're gonna see. No, actually, it looks like we're gonna keep seeing it.
The ball can work. Just the positioning there was actually kind of questionable. The wrecking ball you can see was just all the way out to the right. The arm was playing so far away, which is what you want to do against the Jungle Queen comp. That is the correct position.
It
is.
It
makes it so much more difficult. The ball needs to be aware of where the Ana is, especially because you just can't sustain Papa Lucio.
Exactly. And now we see an aggressive beat with the Blade, but a counter beat from Righteous as well as the EMP onto Kazuma and Knee is going to put them in a little bit of a rough position. The Blade not really finding any value, and as we saw early in the fight, they were a little delayed anyway because you got moved off the map by Rice Juice, but as the rest of them fall, except for Neon, who got hit with the deflect skill, unfortunately, is going to cap the checkpoint here for Thomas College and put themselves barely in the lead, but in a pretty good spot regardless.
It's actually kind of turning the script on Champlain winning the first fight. The Blade commitment there on the side of Champlain, Thomas had already committed their beat. You could have just waited it out. Especially when you aggressive beat like that. It's all uses on the side of Champlain. I'm not liking it all that much.
Exactly. I think it was a little questionable. Oh, the Reckoning coming out, the Rampage from the Junker Queen does find Knee. Plankton does fall as well. The anti-heal from the Rampage there, pretty effective as they're able to just run down the rest of the backline. The ball not really providing as much front line. And Champlain's kind of on the back foot here.
The switch over to the Torbjorn probably to keep the Tracer and the Sombra in check. All Champlain has now is the Nano. Thomas, they have Pulse Bomb. That's really not really much.
But the hack onto you here. Righteous is going to get a little too low and fall. Already down. They do trade that for the tank, though.
You definitely take that trade if you're Thomas.
You do. Bookshelf finding a nice headshot on me. That's that's very good trades.
And see, Champlain's gonna have to commit an ult.
They have to commit an ult here. A Nano onto the Torbjorn here, and it looks like the rest of Thomas is going to fall, but they have so much pressure and push here, and they will all have that fast respawn from getting the checkpoint, so it's totally fine that you lose the fight here.
Absolutely. You get the only ult out on the side of Champlain, who are swapping over to the Sigma now. Also a pretty rough choice for the Sombra, but I understand now, especially when you're going into... Oh, hang on, I see a Symmetra and I see a Romatra. What is going on?
We see the swap immediately come out from Thomas College onto this different composition. And it looks like the Sigma might have a rough time yet again, I feel. Aquilian's taking a nice nap there as well, but the rush coming up from Bookshelf is going to allow them to just walk down the rest of Champlain. The rock coming out onto Aquilian, but the Sigma just kind of having to chill there. Rice Juice does lose the 1v1 to Cosmo, it looks like. And Aquilian in the back here is just going to have to run at them.
He's wearing them down. You see him from far away.
He'll
Monty Python arriving at the gates. He's coming.
The EMP being committed onto the 3. It's going to be some nice staggers here, actually. As it's going to be a triple kill. Thomas is going to have this advantage. Get the bot pushed back immediately to where it needs to be. Keeping this advantage. And Thomas is...
So much pressure out. The best case scenario for Thomas, they commit their Torbjorn ult, they commit their beat, and then you kind of lose the fight.
Yeah. And that's fine, yet again, because you have that close respawn, and there's no way Champlain, a huge pick on the Bookshelf there. But the Molten Core being committed, as well as the beat from Rice Juice for some reason, I feel. I don't know if that was... I mean, it's beat for beat, yes, but now you don't have beat for the overclock from the Sojourn.
Beat also could have been such an aggressive playmaking tool. It's unfortunate to see that go on the side of Thomas. Hoping that they're just going to be able to reliably use this distance. I mean, hey, they're going to get a fight before they lose checkpoint again. They've pushed it so far into the enemy spawn. Exactly.
They get at least a singular fight. And with the Symmetra TP as well, they're going to be able to get back even quicker.
But I think they're going to be... I think Thomas is going to be hitting themselves when they don't have the beat for this Sig Flux.
The Sig Flux and the Overclock. There's 2 ults here that you would love beat for, but you're not going to be able to get it. Aquilian is barely barely going to live here.
It's fine.
Ram blocks it. Yes, Killer did fall to the right click, though, from Knee. Aquilium still is going to fall. They do find Knee, who does have this overclock, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Yu's going to fall low, though. He will fall. Neon putting in amazing work at 1 HP here. Bookshelf does fall. It's just Plankton. It's just a couple of members, but with no supports from Thomas, it's going to be a fight lost just barely.
Well, I imagine, what is it, Champlain will get checkpoint here, but not much else, and that is assuming Thomas gives them checkpoint. They could potentially contest this, but...
Champlain's backing up.
Why not? Just Thomas go on the bot. Thomas go on the bot. Yeah,
I was about to say,
why don't they get checkpoint?
They didn't
That's
get...
the entire point of push. You get the checkpoint.
Vice Shoes falling to a right click from Knee, though. Not good. Not good at all. Neon's going to have to slide out. Bookshelf having to use the bell. TP's over. He gets hit with the rock anyway. Neon with the overclock. Or no, that was Knee with the overclock, I mean.
That's fine. That's fine if you're... That's fine. They're gonna have to push checkpoint here, and then the little bot's gonna have to do his little butt scratch. They're gonna get no progress off of that one team fight.
Exactly. Not really a whole lot.
Yeah.
And there it goes.
They're not even halfway there yet.
Yeah, and Thomas has the advantage on ults here just a little bit. They're getting a bit of push, an aggressive angle from the SIG here onto onto Bookshelf and Neon there. The Symmetra wall being committed as well as the Annihilation. Aquilian 1 HP, barely able to stay alive. Neon committing the overclock. They do find Cosmo. They find both supports for the side of Champlain here, and it looks like as the turret falls down, we will see the rest of Champlain kind of fall over with the ultimates that were being committed. And it looks like now you actually, hopefully, have the beat for this upcoming SIG Flux.
Hopefully, yes.
I see a world here where Cosma does a aggressive beat here, maybe with a nano, and then we match the beat in order to get that beat out, and then now you don't have it.
Hopefully you match beat with a good rush here. Nano, looks like you probably want to nano your SIG or your Sojourn. Probably that's what the nano is looking for.
Yes.
Rush. I mean, if you're Thomas, you would have liked to have gotten the checkpoint, but looks like the fight will just be taken at the middle. Both teams on their far back spawns.
Exactly. Here it comes, the rush coming out. It looks like the beats will be matched, but it's perfectly timed as well, so it also counters the flux. Neon 1 HP in the air, falling a little low. Making it a little hard to heal. He is looking for Knee, who will fall. Knee doesn't have the support. 10 seconds left, actually. We weren't keeping track of the time. Aquilian is falling a little low. Neon is... Our Killer's trying to find a pick with the high charge beam. Ray pick will fall to a right click from Neon. And now as they're going to push, they don't have the nano.
You get to use the nano.
Exactly. The slide past the rock, actually, and he's just focusing. And Thomas is actually won this map. Actually, very good stuff from Thomas there. Able to bring it back and prevent Champlain from really getting too much progress.
I want to see this Junker Queen play. I mean, we didn't speak a lot to the Aquilian on the side of that map, but...
Exactly. I mean, that's because we were watching the rest of Champlain just run down Thomas's backline. Unless it was this scenario where Champlain's backline got ran down.
Yeah, I think the Kuriko there is as much like utility as Ana offers. I think that just having the Kuriko be able to teleport out and like the Lucio kind of just being able to kind of respond to threats as they arise just makes it like so much stronger. And of course the Ramatra kind of just canceling out the Sigma, but just being able to punch through and run through his shield.
Exactly. I mean Sigma.
Why didn't they go for the checkpoint? They could have just pushed it in.
I know. They could have had.
You were 2 meters away.
Exactly, it would have been so much better because then, if anything, like I understand they were waiting for their Lucio and their Sigma to get back, but considering how close it was and how Thomas was playing, they could have easily have gotten the close checkpoint to at least get the animation over with, and then continue their push.
Spawns, because even if you lose that fight, as long as you get back, you're gonna respawn before
you'll get a fight as they get to the middle again to reset the spawn rooms.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the map as a whole, I'm not sure if it changes the entire outcome, but it certainly wouldn't have hurt their chances. Because now Thomas has their foot in the door towards opening the closet to get the broom for this reverse sweep.
Exactly. And if you're Thomas, that's exactly what you want. And now, the next game mode we are going to will be Flashpoint. And...
oh boy.
It looks like there is no bans for this yet, as there's still only a few maps. So the losing team gets the map choice, and it looks like we are seeing Suravasa, which is understandable. Everyone likes to run Suravasa.
It's a very pretty common map pick, you'd say.
Exactly, and it's been around since the start of Flashpoint anyway. So
you could give me $100. Actually, no, never mind. New Junk City. Okay, I could name one other one.
Yeah, New Junk City, yes. But even then, I feel like we don't see that.
I haven't played this game in a while. Is there only two? Is there only two still?
Jeez, I don't know. I think there might be three. There might be three. I could be wrong though, because I'm just here to cast the game. I don't keep track of what maps there are. I just tell the crowd what map we're going to, and that's it. Turn Sam up. Okay.
Yeah, or just probably turn yourself down a little bit. I turned on the stream and it was very loud.
True. Let me turn my microphone down then.
Just a little bit.
I also made Sam's volume max.
Oh boy.
Good call. We'll see how that does. But yeah, now we're on a little bit of a 5-minute break. Thomas says they need a little bit of a break, understandably. I mean, they are still technically on match point. They cannot afford to really lose anything at all.
Not at all. So get yourself a snack. We might be here for a while.
We could be here for a while. Exactly. So stick around. I'm probably going to grab some water myself, and then we will be back with the rest of the game. Never mind. As I say that, I can't even get a chance to leave before Thomas College says R. Cargo Token's going to be getting some water. But I want to thank everyone just while we're here for coming out and watching the stream. I want to thank you for the support. I love seeing the chat go crazy once we get that stream going. Kind of sucks we don't get some conflict, some little exciting dialogue between schools, but that's only normal. Schools usually tend to stream their own games as well, and that's usually where their students or viewers go, is to their own respective streams. But I love seeing the support for Thomas in the chat, as that's why we stream, is so you guys can get the latest updates, at least for Thomas College. The B team is currently in their game as well, but unfortunately we are not able to stream that as this game is still going on, and no offense to the B team, but A team does take a little bit of priority here. But as we have seen before, it is possible for games to end quick enough to stream both games. But this isn't going to be one of those games as we go into the next round on Suravasa. Initiating match. Gotta wonder what Thomas is going to do here.
Yes, I have returned.
Yes.
Very excited to see what Thomas is gonna choose for this map. Same old Suravasa.
Hey, yep, nothing about Suravasa has changed really, but the comps that are run on here have definitely changed.
I wonder if Champlain's gonna stick to this Ana strategy.
They have kind of favored it a bit, but as we see what is currently being selected, it is very much not the Ana. That is the opposite of what I was expecting.
Okay,
Never
I was gonna say no way they're playing Widowmaker Moira.
There's no way. And so it looks like we are going to be seeing a similar comp to what they had run initially on Runasapi, as well as Thomas College running.
This sim is just for TP, and then we'll see a Tracer right after, some sort of
Tracer pick. Yep, the TP out of spawn with they anticipate the ball actually, and Neon is going to stay on this Sombra, immediately get a hack on you. It's going to pressure him out a bit, give him a bit of ult charge, and it looks like the Sombra's just going to have the job of locking down you, which is exactly what Neon's doing, but as he falls 1 HP, dodges the slam just barely.
Committed.
Putting in so much damage, they will find the pick onto him, and now they have the advantage here in this fight.
Neon already halfway to an EMP. No intention of letting Champlain play the game at all.
Exactly, and it looks like Reichus might be the only I say it too soon, as both supports for side of Thomas fall now. The ball gets back here. It's just going to be Knee and you. They don't manage to cap the objective, but with a nice hack onto you, he will fall again as he just got back to the point, and Thomas should be able to cap this objective and get the percentage rolling.
Well, they were so happy together on the point, unable to contest it fully. And now Thomas, they're going to be kind of just like a brick wall in the place of this ball.
Exactly. I mean, the ball is going to have such a hard time running into Thomas as you have the hack, you have the Tracer who can also keep a lock on you. But if the Sombra's not in the picture anymore, then you can just do what you want. Aquilian does find a nice pick onto Cosima, but with there being already so many people down for the side of Thomas, it should just be a nice clean fight for Champlain, as they should be able to start the objective push now, as the rest of them will fall. And at 54%, we will see the point flip over to the side of Champlain.
You're happy with 54% with S. Thomas because you committed no ults. Granted, Champlain committed none either, so you're probably gonna have to be working into a tank ult, probably a support ult. Not Lucio pretty far away from his ult. Granted, both Lucios are. The EMP is gonna potentially be devastating if thrown into the right area. You just need to make sure you get this this bell out on the side of the Kiriko. Thomas committing their bell.
Exactly, the EMP coming out here. They are able to find Plankton, they find Cosima,
they find
a Rig Pig, it's
they find 4!
And now it looks like with just you being there, they don't even need to commit the hack, and it's going to be a team wipe for the side of Thomas College. And now they're going to have the objective back to their count. Relatively even when it flipped, but now Thomas is going to have that advantage, and they only committed the one ult.
Building their first ultimate when the point's at 78%. Their Genji is pretty low.
Rig Pig does fall.
No Kiriko, no rush.
Plankton's gonna fall as well, no blade. Even if they flip this objective, it doesn't matter. The mine's being committed, but the Rampage coming through does open up a little bit of a path on one side, but Yu's going to fall. Cosmo's just going to run away. Knee is going to fall as well, and Thomas is gonna flip it right back over and do it again.
Thomas only committing 2 ults there overall to take the entire point. Champlain, of course, only committing 1. You do have a bit of a difficult fight ahead of you, as you have the Blade, you have the Overclock on the side of Champlain, and the Rush to make those things twice as effective.
Exactly.
Granted, you have the Rush, but Pulse Bomb ain't really going to combo all that well with it, especially you're probably just looking to get out the bell with Pulse.
Exactly, and now we see the Rush being committed by Rig Pig here, as the hack is trying to come out, doesn't really find anyone too much. Thomas is just going to kite the Rush, a very smart play, as they don't commit any ults now.
Very good positioning on the side of Thomas. Now just able to use their rush to engage right onto this point.
Exactly. They hacked the ball as he was going for a slam. He does get the slam because he was so high up. And now as they're a little bit split, we do see the Drikuku coming out, the Rush coming out as well, the beat being used, as well as the Overclock. Plankton is hacked. They may be looking for a Blade as well. Aquilian's just going to be up front and center. Killer looking for a nice pulse onto the back line. Doesn't find anyone, doesn't get the pressure, and the point only just now got capped. Neo's going to follow with the slam. The beat coming out from Raishu's just a little bit too late on the Blade there, but it is fine reaction time as they're going to be able to live through the Blade duration. It's just going to be used, going to fall a little bit low, but with the slam, Nia is going to find a nice right click on the bookshelf, and that should be pretty close fight for Thomas, but they're not going to be able to do anything, as now the rest of them are just going to fall 35% and climbing. Nia with a nice quadruple kill, I believe, to secure the point.
Not at all what you want to see from Thomas. Use your ult so smart. Used your rush. You used your rush intelligently. You used your beat intelligently. It was just unfortunate. I think it was it Killer or Bookshelf that went down first? It just
I think it was Neon that went down first.
Yeah, yeah.
Neon fell, got slammed by the wrecking ball.
Yeah, you have EMP for this fight. Hopefully you get the ball. You know, you get a lot of point pressure. You EMP these supports in this DPS line, or you get shot in the back of the head. Or you get shot in the back of the head. I didn't consider that option.
Yeah, that is an option. That's exactly what we see, as Nee has decided to lock in to try to wrap up this game as fast as possible, finding absolutely insane right clicks onto Thomas College's members, especially the ones with the ultimates that could change the flow of the game.
Great target priority on the side of Champlain. Of course, Thomas is going to be actually here on this point first, which I guess Champlain doesn't really mind because they want to dive, they want to engage. They're going to set up and engage. Look for this Kiriko, look for this Lucio, try and get those cooldowns out, and once they get those cooldowns out, they pounce.
Exactly. So hopefully, Killer's definitely going to be trying to look. They do solo EMP the ball. That's actually not a bad idea there, as it's going to put them at a tank disadvantage. The pulse bomb being committed as
and the
well.
pulse bomb committed. Yeah.
I think that's fine. You're able to force them back. Try to find picks. You're unable to find any more, but that does give you control of the point. And pulse bomb especially can be a pretty solid ult to get, but they do go in. Neon gets picked. It looks like it might have been all for naught. The rush being committed by Raypick here is now they're going in. Thomas is going out. Righteous being belt there, falling a little low. Quillian in, uses the rampage, but is too low. And then it gets cleansed by Raypick as well. And now Thomas is going to fall. And that pulse EMP and the rampage is going to do effectively nothing for you as Champlain.
They didn't get the point. If they had just left one person behind to get the point instead of chasing, they would have been sitting at, I was counting in my head, I'm probably not that accurate, like 40 to 50%?
It would have been a lot more than zero, that's for sure.
A lot more than zero!
And now we see the rush coming out. You did go in with the slam, but with the rush it looks like they're just kind of kiting a little bit. Beat being committed there by Kazuma, as well as the overclock by Knee. They're going to go in, trying to find a Quillian. The blade being committed as well. That should be just a fight win, though, as they commit the 3 ults. Righteous is going to fall after a Quillian. And even though Killer's in the backline trying to make something happen, I doubt it's going to be possible, as the rest of Thomas is going to fall. 64% and climbing. Thomas has one more chance to take this point and get some percentage and try not to let them get to the match point of the match point.
A painful but inevitable and kind of fight you have to take on the side of Thomas. You have no ults. Pulse ain't gonna stop a beat blade. It's just you're gonna hope that someone can touch, so you at least don't just immediately give up this point.
Maybe Quillian's trying, it's trying, and the tank can't touch. They don't touch. It's 2-1. Thomas is now in a very dire position, as it's the match point of Saravasa, and if Thomas loses this, then they are done for the night.
Of course, Thomas just getting staggered here, just kind of giving up kind of free ult charge and kind of just setting yourself up for a worse spot for this last fight, potentially this last point.
The ball does find Neon. Bookshelf does TP. It looks like the ball's getting caught out here, which actually is bad. Thomas exactly. Thomas will get control of the objective here because of that pick, though.
Hopefully.
They should. They have 4 people on it now, so they should be able to get it.
all right, we're good.
Thomas as well does have a slight bit of ult advantage, but Champlain's not too far behind in the percentage. EMP coming out, though. We go and look. Aquilian shouting in there. They do manage to find Plankton on the Genji. He's looking for that Lucio. Reekpig still just kind of on the top doing what he can. Uses the mines. Reekpig as well using the rush. Trying to get it. They did get the flip.
You would have loved for your Lucio to have beat there. Unfortunately, going right into the mines, which is unfortunate. Aquilian's so split from his team.
And now the beat coming out as well, trying to keep the rest of the team alive, as they did get the map flip, so it's 27-27, but Champlain does have it, and he's going to climb in their favor. And it's not looking good.
Not looking good from the side of Thomas. You need to make something happen with this beat. You need to make something happen with this rampage. You need to get the bell up from the Kiriko, and you also need to not die to overclock.
Exactly. The overclock here, especially with Knee having locked in, as we've seen in this map so far, is going to be very dangerous. Still Sam coming in. Let's see if we can watch. No Raishu's immediately getting picked. No beat, not good. Thomas has to kite.
And Champlain's Lucio just barely escaping.
And then Bookshelf falls. I think this is it.
To the side of Thomas. You need to just now throw it in.
That's just
ult
it.
Out of spawn. Maybe your tracer touches.
No, it's too fast, and that's it. That is going to be Champlain's victory over Thomas College in NECC Week 2, I think.
I mean, Thomas definitely put up a good show near the end there. I mean, with how dominant Push was, you would have thought that the map score was the other way around, but Champlain just absolutely.
I mean,
honestly, they went into overdrive.
Exactly. Nee got a little bit tired waiting for the game to end, so Nee decided to do the best that they could to make it happen.
Yeah, and places to be. Who can blame them? We have places to be too. The B team game.
Exactly. Maybe depending on how quick they have. I'm unsure. Let's see if I could just join the game on their team. Let's go in game. We can only spectate them. We don't have all spec as we just joined. Let's look here. See what's happening. It looks like they're still on their first map. They actually are up 1-0. Here's the lineup real quick. Here's what we're looking at.
They're gonna need to immediately make something happen, though.
Yeah, it's 50% to 90%.
Hopefully they saw that EMP coming. They're tracking ults. I hope.
I hope so.
Use that hazard ult. You're not gonna have time to retreat, my friend. You don't have time.
The Moro fade onto the point. Prankster's going in here. He does get an anti immediately. No fade. Playmaster though trying to look for this. Anno does find a nice headshot, but it looks like the rest of his team is down. And it doesn't look like any of Thomas is going to be able to touch, and it looks like it's going to be this other team that I don't know the name of right now that is going to take the first map.
Oh, I'm shaking my fist. Cast a curse. They would have turned that fight around if we weren't there. I guarantee it.
Exactly.
You can see, just
Plague here, kind of just going in.
Quirky Plague, yes. Putting a lot of pressure onto Thomas's supports.
Exactly. It looks like, can I see who they are playing?
That would be some good information.
It would be. I don't think I'll be able to update the... Actually, I could update the photo. It's not that hard. I'm unsure. Let me try to find that information. But
Do we have a guest photo?
Do we? Wait, scrim in game times maybe? Nope. I am unsure.
All right, this is what you do. Take Thomas College, invert the colors. That's the enemy.
Pretty much. Let me... Okay, that didn't work. I love Scuff so much. Okay, I did enter a valid name. But it looks like Thomas already down 0-1. Okay, I don't know why I'm trying to do it that way when I can just do it this way. But yes, it looks like GG's first in the first game to Champlain, GG's to Thomas. It was a little bit of a close game there towards the end, especially with Thomas almost coming back, but they will lose the series 1-3. Champlain will take that victory against... Champlain will take the victory against Thomas College there. And the B team is facing somebody, but we haven't gotten that information yet. NEIT. Is that the North England Institute of Technology?
Probably the New England Institute of Technology.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that. So,
guess we'll call them neat.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, it looks like I'm trying to get the logo for their college, so I can at least update the scores quickly.
Of course, of course.
But it looks like Thomas was running the standard Havoc team comp, something pretty common, at least in the newer times since he's released. I'm unsure what the other team was running. I didn't catch it, but I believe I saw Diva.
Yes, it was more of your traditional like Diva dive. You saw your Diva, you saw your Sombra. I think I even saw Torb there, but I think that was on the side of Thomas.
It might have been, as Pokey has been playing the Torbjorn quite a bit lately.
Probably Torbjorn to keep the, Diva, Tracer, Sombra, whatever it was, on the side.
Yes, exactly.
Control, but
you gotta wonder what they're gonna go next. I believe
King's Row. Wait, no. Yeah, it's hybrid. Hybrid Kings Row.
Should be trying to get this logo updated, but yes, everyone who was around for the A team game, please stick around for the B team game now as you get more exciting Overwatch gameplay from Thomas College. As I continue updating the scores, tune in next Tuesday, should be next Tuesday unless there's a reschedule, for League of Legends. We will have another game at that time, I believe at 6 or 7? Question mark?
That's what it was last time.
I can't remember.
I should know. I was there.
I was too, but I can't remember. Because last week was a reschedule, I believe, onto a Thursday. But, oh, let me update the score. I forgot to do that. It's actually 0-1 in favor of NECC. There we go. And it looks like the ban, it was a hybrid map type. The game mode is going to be hybrid, and the ban from NECC is going to be Numbani. Not really
Based
a map
on
that
the
we see
the
anyway.
5 seconds of gameplay that I saw, I'm surprised. Because
I am
Numbani
too.
very much suits itself to dive maps, so you'd think you'd want to play your Diva Sombra comp there. But
You would think.
let's see what Thomas is going to pick.
Looks like
Probably
they're
discussing
currently
about it right now.
discussing it right now, yes.
I didn't get the Doomfist correct. I didn't get the Doomfist. But know what I will get
Unfortunately.
correct. Know what I will get correct.
What would you get correct?
I cannot think of another hybrid map other than Kings Row, so I'm gonna say Kings Row.
Honestly, I could see the Kings Row here.
I don't think they're gonna go Hollywood because they
Yeah,
seem
it's
to
definitely
like
not-
to have tried.
Definitely not going to be mid.
My last choice.
Yep, I would agree with that one. I just haven't really seen this one. Usually, Thomas would go escort, I believe. That's what's been done in their previous games, is the escort.
Yes, of course, but it could be on a week-by-week basis.
It could be, I guess.
Who knows?
I guess they're feeling the hybrid this week, as we are going to Midtown as our next map.
Yes, This is all within standard rules, and
Yep.
usually we see on the Midtown in terms of hero comps, we'll usually see a Sigma. I imagine we might see the Torbjorn again, probably some sort of Alari, maybe an Ash play.
Could be an
and
Ash. Yeah.
Support Pohi on the Ash.
I could see that. I think Wumbus might. I don't know. Wumbus was at one point played a lot of Winston, but it's not really a map that suits the Winston. So it's gonna be interesting to see what Wumbus is going to pick in this comp.
You could force the Winston. You don't want to force the
You
Winston.
don't
but
want
could-
to, but you
could
could.
force the
You
Winston.
could.
Yeah, he can get some pretty decent high ground control, stuff like that. Contest like Fire Station, especially on attack. On defense, he can have some decent, nice peel, but his bubbles and all that good at defending choke. So most teams will probably opt to run like a Orisa or a Sigma.
Yeah,
Like that.
I think the easiest thing here would be probably the
Maybe
Orisa.
even a Ram.
Maybe. But I think the Orisa or the Sigma is probably what we're going to see overall. Maybe even the Havoc, since Wumbus has been playing that a lot. But it is going to be the Ramattra, as they are on defense first.
I imagine Fuad is just looking for where the Reaper is, and then he will be selecting that. And
Either
playing.
the Reaper or the Ashe, yes. Unless Ashe might still be banned, actually, right now, as there was a bug that was preventing her from being allowed to be played in NECC, as there was a bug that actually made her head hitbox incredibly small. So she was banned from being played until it was fixed.
Well, regardless, we'll see another Fuad special with the Sombra, probably looking to kind of shut down this Diva with just some good hacks.
It's also just his
The
favorite character as well.
The Junkrat's going to be an interesting choice. Symmetra, I don't know if we're going to keep seeing that on the side. Nope, we're going to see a Sombra mirror.
Okay,
See if
we don't see that often.
Thomas is ready for the underground push. Surely they know it's there, and they know it's there. Good.
They do. Yep. Looks like they're just going to be a little bit aggro here. Wombus getting antied, but Pokey with a nice headshot into Zill. I'll just call him Zill for now because that's a crazy name. Zill will fall, and that's going to put Neat at a pretty big disadvantage here, as that's one of their supports down, and they're going to have to wait. But Fuwad dying to the Junkrat spam. That's what Junkrat does best.
Yeah, you see Ring committed on the side of Neat, but not much being done with it. Probably going to wait for it again. Hopefully this D.Va just kind of boosts through past the Ram shield, but when you're going, of course, you're diving into Ram's big old mechanical arms.
Exactly, and those arms will do a lot of work onto the Neat side of things. Butter falling pretty quickly there. That turret from Pokey, as well as Prankster just finding a nice shot, is going to make him fall. Banana onto the D.Vas while going in. Prankster's able to hit the shift to get out to stay alive. Almost does get slept and antied, and he will fall. Quirky is falling a little low. Maybe they can get him out the tower coming out from Gyro here. Still getting used to the names. Pokey will fall to the tire here, as it looks like it's going to be a nice advantage for the side of Neat. Fuwad trying to do what he can. He's going to be able to echolocate out. Does actually manage to get out. That's insane.
For Pranksters, but you probably would want the other way around.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Considering one almost has ult, the other one does not. But Thomas, are they gonna try and recontest this? Surely
they don't.
Surely not.
They can't really, as they choose not to. And it looks like they're just gonna take the close hold here, which is I think the better decision.
Thomas, I think you definitely want to take the close hold. I mean, it's gonna be hard too with like the amount of Junkrat spam that can kind of come through these like really pretty tight corridors at the start of second point. You'd rather be playing kind of back at the second, especially when things like that can
falling
happen.
there. Wumbus as well getting a little over aggressive into that tiny corridor that we were just talking about. The hat coming out onto Playmaster, but the counter hat coming out as well isn't going to be enough. Fuwad falling a little low, and it looks like regardless of what they decided to do before, they're going to get some really good push progression here for the side of Neat.
Is just going to be kind of outpaced by this Juno, I fear. Like, you can see like the healing pylon stayed up that entire fight, but two players on the side of Thomas still.
And nice bell from Playmaster there, able to protect Pokey, who would have been the other one that fell. The rush coming up from Playmaster there as they are going to run in a huge EMP, 4-man EMP from Fuwad there, and that should be just a very quick wrap up for the side of Thomas College there, as a 4-man EMP is really hard to come back from.
An excellent, I would have staggered that. An excellent ult usage on the side of Thomas. Of course, none really being committed by. I'm thinking it's starting to think it's like "niet," like a no in German. But regardless, you're gonna have to have some sort of answer for this EMP, and I don't know what it is on the side of Thomas. You kind of hope it was Rush to kind of maybe just trying to outpace them with like damage and abilities on their dive. That or split up the split up.
I think just playing split up here is probably the better play. They're kind of giving a little bit of space.
Very close together.
That is the opposite of split.
Yeah. No pressure on the
see.
though.
And a 5-man EMP from Butter, and that, I mean, enough said. 5-man EMP is so much value that they were going to be able to take out those members. Butter will fall, and Gyro does fall as well, so it's actually a 2v3 here. Wait a minute, and they don't have the close spot. Are they going to touch?
I think if you're Thomas,
they do.
Oh, they do actually contest this.
They do contest this. Okay, that's a little overkill. That's a little
excessive. That's a little excessive.
It's a little over excessive. You're excited.
I get that you want to win. I understand that you want to win, but maybe using both your tank ult and your LR ult, I mean, Thomas is going to want those back in, I guarantee, 30 seconds. When
20 to 30 seconds
comes out, and they have the only answer they're going to have for it is going to be 12 North.
Which isn't going to be the greatest answer. They also have the Junkrat tire as well from Gyro.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're probably looking. I mean, best case scenario, they force out this. They're gonna try and force out the bell from Thomas, and then they're just gonna find Kiriko, blow up Kiriko.
Yep, and then capture the objective.
Actually, some devastating artillery you can see.
Yep, Gyro with the tire coming out. Wait, 1 HP. It does fall. Pokey does fall though. It did manage to get the ult off just a bit. Fuwad's going to follow the D-mech remech. It's going to come out, the bell coming out, going to prevent some damage being done. Wumbus in the mode, just absolutely beating down Plague, but the satellite Vector coming out from the side of Zill there is going to be able to get enough damage on to finish off Wumbus, as NE is going to just capture the point
I like that.
and continue their push. Oh my god.
A good satellite vector on the side of Zill, on the side of NE. Just able to kind of wait for that molten core to kind of just evaporate.
Exactly.
Of course, now Thomas having a rush to kind of work against this nano, you probably rush and then just hope your Ram can engage, farm ult.
Fuad
Get
also
it
having the
before the next
EMP as well.
What you don't want to do is commit.
5 EMP and rush. That's exactly what they do, is they commit both.
Again, Thomas in 27 seconds are going to wish that they had that rush, especially to do something about this nano.
Yep.
But you have the Alari ult coming up, and Pranksters has been getting some pretty serious ult kind of farming done, with the turret just able to get so much, it's just kind of being uncontested, being left up until the end of the fight.
Yes.
And also just having a good shot. He's hitting shots.
Exactly, and that's what Alari wants to do, is hit those shots. As Alari can do a surprising amount of damage if you're not careful. But we do see Butter here trying to build this EMP. A lot of ults coming up from the side of NE. But Butter gonna have to get out. Prankster does have this ultimate now. Gonna hope to not get eaten. The hack that one does Zill. They do find Zill. Wumbus and Fuad in the background.
Kim's just in the back line. He's getting very aggressive. He's getting in there.
Gyro does fall as well as Cody, but
no ults committed on the side of Thomas. That
exactly.
That was a really good fight. Wumbus just taking like a very aggressive angle and just realizing that there's no bell to save this Ana, and if Ana misses the sleep, well, she's probably gonna die.
Exactly.
So you now have the Ram ult, which is gonna make this EMP probably hurt a little bit less, especially if you can get it off after it kind of goes. You can kind of deny a lot of the space. Hopefully, they're getting ready to actually
here it comes.
Block it out.
No, not yet. They're gonna wait for that. Double.
A double. Fuad running into the Diva Bomb.
And seemingly not knowing where it is, which I mean, it happens to the best of us sometimes, but it's going to be only the one ult committed for the side of NE, and while Thomas will have 3 ults as well, almost 4, it's gonna be all about how they use them.
Yep. Thomas really gonna be just kind of hoping to get something. I mean, first, Laurie needs to not have her thing eaten by Diva, and then Ram can just get a ton of time on point.
Here comes the EMP. Doesn't get blood. Gets a nice 3. Gyro, though, holding it. The EMP coming out. The Annihilation coming out. They do manage to find 2 just overall. But another 2 coming out onto Thomas. But it should be fine unless Gyro can get 3 here. The Molten Core coming out from Pokeball in the air. We're giving plenty of advantage. And they will stop them 1.29 meters from the very end.
Good cleanup on the side of Thomas. The Molten Core just really good at just kind of securing that last point, you know? Can get a little bit risky when Junkrat's able to do so much burst damage against those squishies.
Definitely very risky.
Yeah, for what I want to see on the side of Thomas is really conserving these ultimates. Kind of like... I like how they're actually... Of course, I like that they're coordinating them, but for what, like, we've been seeing some real, like, nasty EMPs, some fight-winning, like, solo EMPs, and then just other ults are committed on top of them. You can kind of see that with the EMP rush combo. Of course, you want to EMP rush, I understand that, but I think if you're able to get such kind of dominant fights out, that the things like just committing cooldowns can sometimes be enough with when you combo with an EMP, with an ult like EMP.
Exactly. The EMP can already do so much damage.
Rush, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Rush can be used in a lot of different ways, but comboing it with an EMP isn't really necessary at first. I think if anything, you delay the rush just to see if you need it or not.
Yes. But looks like probably, I mean, Sim, I was going to say Sim TP, but NE is defending, so Sim on defense on the side of them.
Exactly.
You see the Junkrat. I mean, a Pharah here, or some sort of aerial assault would be
insane.
Painful for them, but let's see if they can make it happen.
I don't know if anyone, even on the side of Thomas, can really play the Pharah. I think it's more so just Pokey sticking to the Torb, as it's one of his strongest picks right now on this DPS role. And Fuad just on the Sombra is also pretty strong, as we've been seeing. But we're going to have to see if they can break the defenses here. It's just going to be a poke battle. Prankster's pylon falling there.
Yeah, Thomas is going to have to displace this Ana, who's just going to be sitting in Firehouse the entire time.
It looks like she
they went
displaced
up
herself.
for fire. Yeah, okay. Oh, all right. That's the first step done. And then after that, you're going to want to push.
Yep. The turrets are down. They are a little low, but Wumbus here is probably going to want to get a little aggressive here with the shield, maybe. That's exactly what you need too. Okay, maybe the trade's not as ideal, but you trade a support for the DPS. That should be a little more acceptable, as the Symmetro is going to be stuck in the front line. Does manage to get a TP out, though. Just barely. I don't even know to where. Over there. Wumbus gets trapped, does fall, and actually Thomas is not going to come out on top here.
Yeah, Thomas gets the first pick there, but I think it's a problem of target priority. You see that the Sombra there on the side of Thomas going after the Junkrat, while the rest of the team is kind of taking a frontline brawl. A hack on the D.Va would have been so much more effective. But
exactly. If you hack the D.Va, she can't boost away. There's no defense matrix. There's just nothing.
Probably what we'll see now on the side of NE is probably a tire to counter out this.
Wumbus, 1 HP, finally presses the button. Tire from behind. Here it comes. It gets destroyed.
Oh,
Prankster's hitting
Prankster.
those shots. Both supports down, and Thomas will. Oh, Fuwad just getting assassinated by the Junkrat.
Oh,
And actually,
he will
Blake
come back,
shouldn't contest
luckily,
this.
and I don't see a world where
No,
they
wait,
do.
the
I mean,
TP
they should be
Wait a
setting up for in case they do, because D.Va could fly in.
And D.Va will go on to touch. They do have the Symmetra wall coming up. Nano one to the D.Va. EMP coming out. Does get a nice in there. Does get in there. It's going to blow up one. Doesn't really hit anymore, but the... Oh, no. That is not what you want to see if you are Thomas College.
Thomas, you know that D.Va's still alive. You need to position yourself into that doorway or actually take some sort of aggressive angle. You see, Pokey sets up like a turret, but if you had checked that angle, you would have seen the D.Va and started contesting her. Draw her attention away from the point. But now Thomas is it's gonna be real rough there. You commit your Alari ult, big playmaking ult, and NE has so much in terms of defense. They have the wall. They have the
Juno beam.
Juno beam. Satellite vector.
Yeah, that's just what I call it.
You need to make something happen with this
Oh,
EMP.
a
5-man EMP! That is exactly what they need!
Oh my goodness!
Wall committed on the side of NE.
Doesn't even matter, as they're all just gonna fall over anyway.
I imagine it's probably because they're gonna be swapping off of this Symmetra.
Should be, but it doesn't look like they will.
Well, they can get to the spawn room. But now Thomas needs to start taking some aggressive angles here. I mean, you just wipe them all.
You also
don't let this in just hang out.
You see the sim here. I mean, surely you just walk on her.
No support.
Fuwad's going to.
No Kiriko, no nothing to get her out of that position.
Now she's gonna have TP to try to TP out, and what
Stop
would
her.
have been a punishing blow to NE is actually gonna just end up not really much happening from it.
Alright, now they're looking for a hack probably onto this D.Va. An aggressive TP on the side of NE.
Onto
They're gonna be able to
find
punch them
anything.
for it. No, not at all.
They do look for pranksters there with the dash, not able to find anything though. Point is almost there. Someone just needs to step on it. Just get it pushed out a little more. The TP there ready to go on that aggressive angle. No one's really doing anything. They need to do something.
Oh, very aggressive play on the side of Thomas.
Wumbus is trying to do something here. Tower coming out from Gyro though, the sleep. Cody will fall, Pokey will fall. It's a good trade though. The Junkrat low over in the corner behind the bus. Fuwad trying to look for him. Does get the hack off instead of just going for it, but does find the pick anyway. Almost walks into the mines, a little concerned about that. The Satellite Vector coming out, trying to mirror the rush. The D.Va Bomb is there. They are going to do the nerfing on the point. Isn't going to find anyone, though. Prankster does use the Alariel on the Zill. Will find it. Wumbus does fall, but it's a tank trade. That's not good. Fuwad going to down his Symmetra turrets, and it's not going to be enough as you commit so much. I mean, both teams commit a fair amount, but it looks like NE is going to come out on top overall and stop Thomas from capping that checkpoint.
Thomas is playing a dangerous game here. All you have now is the Torbjorn ult, and the Torbjorn ult isn't a isn't as much of a playmaker as Nano is.
It's not
So
the greatest offensive ult, really.
hopefully you're relying on Fuad to get another 5-man EMP or something, hopefully along
I
that
mean,
range.
he has to have EMP for that to even happen. Wumbus just not pressing shift either, will fall. And that's a 2-for-1 trade onto Thomas's members, and they just have to back out now. Even more time off of the very little bit that they have left to get so far.
Yes. And now you just see like neither team is really taking advantage of like when the other one's down. Like if you're NE, you should be running into these players before the tank gets back. I mean, the tank is gone, the Torbjorn's gone. What's an Alari going to do against a Diva?
Exactly. Fuad, 4-man EMP this time, close enough as Cody's going to fall. Gyro getting a little low, getting protected, will get out of the way.
They see the tire, hopefully.
The tire, it's there. They see it. Pokey is going to fall to it. The wall being committed by Butter as well, but Wumpus will find Gyro here on the flank. Playmaster with a TP in is going to try to keep Wumpus up. Zill will fall, and it's just 2 on the side of NE alive actually right now.
Yep, Thomas does have the cart presence.
Prankster falls a little low. Prankster does fall. The rush coming out from Playmaster. A very good call there. The nano coming out onto Quirky too. Pokey needs to get back with his ultimate. Fuad's going to fall. It's a 2v3 onto the point. We do see Quirky as well, has this Diva Bomb as well, but they need to get on. Playmaster has to throw his body onto the point. It's going to be Playmaster coming in, the Volton Core coming out from Pokey as well.
You need to touch.
You need to touch. Real Gyro's going to fall, and now there's no supports for the start of Thomas up as Wumbus and Pokey are going to get really low. Quirky's almost out of the DMAC. Wumbus does have the ship going in. They are about to get him DMAC'd, but with 2 supports on the side of NE, they are going to be able to keep Quirky alive. Wumbus does have the ult and needs to press Q right now. He does press Q. He's going in. They do get the hack onto Quirky. They're trying to melt him down, but they need to instead look for the supports. So the satellite vector coming out for Zill is going to do a lot of damage here. Gonna keep a lot of support, and with that, NE is going to take Midtown away from Thomas College, and we are going to go to match point against Thomas and NE.
Not getting that last team fight with Wumbus just getting picked down as they just get like kind of Fuad stealing. Probably no one of his probably 2 5-man EMPs that he got off.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a 5-man EMP with the rush here. Very good play overall.
You see just the amount of damage that Sombra is able to put out if she can get these like massive EMPs. But
exactly.
If you're Thomas, you're just kind of, I think you're just wondering like why, like we're getting like these major kind of fight wins, but then they're just disengaging before we can do anything. That's kind of the problem with running a Ram with a Sombra. Is like, yeah, you just got a 5-man like EMP and they're all running away. The Ram's running after them. The Ram can't dive in like Diva. He can't jump in like Winston. Things like that.
Exactly. And it's really hard for them to be able to do anything. And you just kind of need the Sombra as well to build the EMP as quick as possible after using it, because that's going to be such a huge fight win, especially if you hit 4 and 5-man EMPs like Fuad has been doing.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of this Torbjorn either, I must say. I mean, the Torbjorn, he's putting out a ton of damage, but like the ultimate just doesn't have the playmaking potential, especially on attack, to really get something done.
Exactly.
That's all.
I mean, it's a consistent pick for Pokey, but so on the defense it's fine, but like you said, on the attack, I feel like there should be something swapped up there. I feel like anything really would be better. A Soldier, you could put him on a Reaper.
Sojourn, Reaper, Genji, Tracer, something to really follow up on these like EMPs and the rest of like your kind of your team's kit, because like you can't really take advantage of a Lari ult because there's no one really going into follow up to get those explosions. You can't really take advantage of Kiriko ult because no one really wants to rush in to use the rush.
Exactly.
I mean, aside from I guess like Ram, but
even then,
I mean, don't overthink it. If you're Thomas, you will lock in, get some pretty like just focus on your target priority. Just there's people staying alive a little bit longer than they should, and make sure you're all shooting the same target.
Exactly.
If one hacks that Diva, it will go down.
If anything, if there's 2 supports alive, try to focus one of them instead. Instead of the Diva, as they're just going to pocket the Diva through the hack. Yeah. Especially if it's an Ana Juno. Like,
the idea is that you're forcing the Diva at least away from the position, so then you go in to then focus the supports. But yes, I agree with you. If you can get a support, well, that's the problem. The supports are in the back line. The rest of the team's in the front line. Fuad's in the back line, but there's no one with Fuad in the back line. There's no one who can follow up with Fuad on the back line, so he kind of has to go for the Diva.
Exactly. I mean, even just like positioning better as the Torbjorn would help just a little bit.
Hmm.
And, like, if, for instance, in that final fight,
I
like
mean,
if the Torbjorn taking the high ground and just stays on that high ground, it either forces the diva to look up at him, or the Torbjorn just gets free value up there until someone else can contest him.
exactly, exactly.
So I think if
And then,
anything, it's just the positioning that needs
mhm,
to be fixed for the side of
mhm.
Thomas on this Torb,
Yeah,
depending
I
on the
mean,
map.
you're running Kiriko. Take advantage of her teleport. Take advantage of all the tools in her kit. Belle is nice, but she can do so much more. Playmaster, I say, is hitting the shots. I see a lot of the time. It's unfortunate. He'll Bell, it'll save the person, then 5 seconds pass and they die anyway, just because it's just not. They're just focus firing like the tank so hard.
Exactly. But we do see the next map being push yet again, as that is usually the third map in what could be the map decider if a team decides to go 3-0. And the ban was Colosseo, similar to the A-Teams match, and just as similar to the A-Teams map, we will be seeing Runasapi yet again. But will it be similar to what Thomas was able to pull off in the A-Team game, where they were able to take Runasapi from Champlain? Will they take Runasapi from NE? Or will this be the final map deciding game deciding map for the series?
Thomas, even though I know you can't hear me because there's a 3-minute delay, so you're probably in a map right now, and that'd be really weird if you're listening to the stream. But lock in. You can do it.
Exactly. Just lock in. That's kind of the best you can do. I mean, just lock in and make something happen.
And if this doesn't work, expand your hero pool. Find an answer. If you're gonna be running dive, if you're gonna be running dive, half poke, don't do that. Pick one.
Exactly. Make more of a commitment towards one composition or another.
Ram's a flex tank. I'm old and scared and I don't know what those new words mean, but I think he's fine to do either. So make the rest of the comp around that. Either
Yeah.
keep the Kiriko and then start using something like a Lucio instead of the Alari, or keep the Alari and then ditch the Kiriko for like an Ana.
Exactly. I feel like that would be a much better backline and more consistent backline instead of more of the straight damage focused backline of an Alari and Kiriko.
But honestly, I'm excited.
I am too. Match points are usually exciting because it's where one team either takes it all or the other team starts making a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
As
And
we
as we discussed before with push, oh, it's in Peru. As we kind of discussed before with the map, with like push, is you really first, the first fight can really just kind of determine how a map is going to go. Granted, we didn't see that way last time, because last time I believe Champlain won the first fight, but Thomas ended up taking the map. Spoilers for those watching the VOD. But when it comes to this, because it just puts you in such an advantageous position to use your ultimates correctly. And Thomas has been really like using a lot of those ults, and so I'll be honest, they're really gonna need to win this first team fight.
Doomfist.
My mind is taking me. Pranksters on the Zarya.
On the tank. What is happening?
They think there's gonna be a diva. They think there's gonna be a diva, so they put pranksters on the Zarya to counter the diva. But there's not going to be a diva.
My goodness.
Someone tell them. We can't tell them, but
It's
someone
against
tell
the rules,
them.
but someone tell them. Oh no. Fuwan on the
hope
Reaper now instead of the Sombra. I mean, the Reaper is going to be good against the Doomfist,
Yeah.
but
Ain't gonna have a rough time into this Junkrat and into this Sombra.
and I think the Zarya is going to be good into the Junkrat, going to be able to protect from a lot of spam and get a lot of charge. Doofus slamming in, not able to find much. Fuad getting a little low, is going to have to use the Wraith Force. Wumbus a little out of position there, having the TP get a little low. They're looking for him. The anti being used, Gyro finding a nice double concussion mine. Fuad 1 HP as well. They're not really looking at him though, as he's 1 HP, but as he starts shooting, they are looking at him. He is able to fade out. I don't think he's going to be able to get out, as Gyro is going to find that finishing blow. And
I mean,
Thomas?
This Junkrat, I mean, I'll say it shouldn't be as effective as it currently is with this Zarya. The Zarya should just build charge.
And I mean, Zarya does have a lot of charge, but as with the hack as well as just the damage.
I guess there's my answer. The Sombra has just been kind of putting so much pressure on the Zarya.
Exactly. And Fuad swapping over to the Sombra as well to try to match it. Wumbus does find Zill, so it's one support up for the side of Thomas. Gyro does get hacked, able to do a lot. Pokey in the backline fighting for his life against the Doomfist. Dot misses the... Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh my god. Oh, the reload, the turret, though, getting the kill on the quirky Plague. Pokey coming out on top of that somehow.
No checkpoint on the side of NE, which is actually really good. You can kind of see, even there, what I was talking about, the Fuad was, Pranksters was in there like swimwear, and Fuad was able to like just hack the Prankster's target, and the Junkrat's dead. Granted, Junkrat probably would have died anyway, but you can just see that
the effectiveness of it,
the aggressiveness that Thomas really needs to do if they want to come this Sombra.
Exactly. And now we see Gyro coming up on this tire, and nothing for the side of Thomas to really do much. The aggressive... Oh, he's looking for it. Here it goes. Over the ramp. Going up in the air. The turret not able to do enough, and he does get a quadra kill with the trap after that. Fuad walking into the Junkrat trap, getting a quadra kill for Gyro there on the Junkrat, and that is just...
If you're lucky, you get back before they get a checkpoint, but that's going to be unlikely. So you actually have to take a pretty awful fight where they're not gaining any cart progress because the cart's going to be stopped, but you're also going to be fighting the point.
Exactly.
So
actually, it looks like they might get a tiny bit of progression here just based off timing. Quirky Plague is going to fall. You just have to block. It is going to be an awkward fight though, but Pokey finding a nice pick on the Cody, but Fuad getting hit with a punch, and then Pokey falling immediately. That's just both DPS down for the side of Thomas, and they have to back out. There's nothing they can do. Pranksters is going to get hacked here. They do have both supports and a bubble to try to keep them up, but they're not going to be able to commit any ults here, so they're going to have to wait. Bell being used by Wumbus there. Prankster needs to get out. He has a bubble, but it's not going to be enough as he just waits for the bubble to go down, and then he finds the kill onto Pranksters with Wumbus shortly falling after.
Pranksters at such high charge, but he's just choosing to put all that damage into the Doomfist, who's just going to heal. He's just going to block. He's just going to use his damage resist.
Exactly. I mean, Quirky does fall.
I'll take it. You know, we'll take it.
But it looks like they do have the CMP. Pokey getting knocked in. The bubble coming out, though. He does get hacked. Has to use the E to get out there as Fuad found a nice counter hack onto him. Gyro's going to fall, and it looks like Thomas actually gets a really nice fight off of this.
Yeah. You see NE playing this fight correctly. Granted, Thomas has all their ults, but Thomas is going to have to use an ult to engage this fight. They're going to have to use Rush. They're going to have to use Satellite Vector.
They're going to have to
do anything. They have so much distance.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they're also probably going to take this fight before they lose checkpoint. I mean, it looks like they won't, but they could have.
They could have. Exactly. Here comes the EMP. The counter EMP both go off. Fuad's not being as effective. And NE's just going to make a quick fight off of that. I mean, not much to say there. Both of the EMPs go off at roughly the same time, but Fuad's just barely not getting enough value, and Thomas falling a little bit faster than NE.
Doesn't help that NE also commits the nano here, which tells me that
it was onto the Sombra as well.
Oh.
I did see that. It was onto the Sombra that they did the nano.
Well, that just tells me they're confident they can just win this fight.
They are, definitely. I mean, they do have this tire, but Satellite Vector with the grab, no one really able to follow up on it, but the tire coming in, finding a triple kill. Not good. Prankster's in by himself trying to find Cody, but it's not going to be enough, and that's going to be a team wipe for the side of NE onto Thomas.
A great grab on the side of Thomas, but there's no one there to follow up.
There isn't, and that's going to put them in a rough spot as now they only have this Torbjorn ult and the Juno ult here. Prankster's going in with the satellite vector as well. Fuad going to fall to the Sombra. You have to use the Molten Core here as well as you're already down one. Quirky coming in, Plague coming in, Wumbus falling, Butter falling. It's pretty even to both sides, but Thomas does have the spawn advantage. Quirky able to find Pokey. It's just Cody and Quirky alive, but with Thomas having that spawn advantage, surely they're able to find the picks they need. Playmaster coming in, finding that pick onto Cody, and now it's just going to be Plague here on the point with the block getting hacked. We'll be able to punch out. Slams out. They're gonna chase him down. I mean, surely they get the kill here.
Sure.
And they do. They do.
Yeah.
That is very good. That's going to be a nice stall, even though he will have the quick checkpoint, but that's very good stall for Thomas.
Don't call me Shirley, but I know it's a stagger pick, but I really like the ball. I don't know how well Pranksters can play it, but I really like it. It's able to follow up on these diva hacks, which you so desperately need. The Moira on the side of Wumbus, I mean, it's extra survivability.
I think it's a little more survivability, but I don't think the healing is as strong.
I'm not sure how much experience Wumbus has on support, so...
The Nano on the Sombra here shreds Fuad. I mean, a Nano Sombra just does so much damage. The Meteor Strike coming out, and boom, there it is. Finds Wumbus. The rest of Thomas in the backline, I mean, Plague just going crazy and putting them all over the place. And now it's just Pranksters alive here, trying to get a little bit of stall, but really should just be trying to get out if he can. Fuad here, it's just a battle of the Sombras, but it looks like Fuad's kind of on the back foot here. Prankster's falling to Gyro, who's on this little flank here.
That is not good.
Not good at all is now.
This tire risk getting so much value. This Thomas has no answer to it aside from like...
I want him to do it. There we go. Here comes the tire. What is this tech? Okay, both EMPs going off, finding the same value. Fuad finding Zill. Tires coming in from the high ground. Boom, gets another double. And that spells disaster for Thomas as Butter finds Pokey. Now it's just Fuad and Playmaster left alive. Fuad does find Cody, though. It's just going to be Butter alive. Butter will fall to Fuad, and now it's just Gyro. Gyro trying to get out. Does get hit with the virus. It's 1 HP. They're trying to look for him. They're trying to find this pick, but Gyro should just be able to get out as the mobility is just a little bit higher. And Thomas barely holding on.
If only Opportunist still worked the same, Fuad would have found that kill. He would have found that low HP target. But it's not 2020 anymore.
It's not.
Thomas, you want to take the checkpoint away from them. You're going to want to use these mines like very aggressively. Get them right on the backline. Yeah.
Does manage to find Cody and Quirky who goes through it. That is awesome. But Zill finding two as well. But Thomas should come out on top of that. It's just Gyro and Butter alive still.
And the best part of that fight, it was quick.
It was so quick.
Doesn't have much time, and they don't want to give up ult charge, and they don't want to give up deaths like that.
Just like that. But if they're lucky, they should be they might be able to get this checkpoint here.
They should get the checkpoint.
They should get the checkpoint here. They will.
They're doing a full swap over to the Junker Queen to probably just throw knives and stagger this ball around. I'm surprised the Sombra on the side of NE has not been a bigger deal.
Especially for Pranksters here. Shout being used for an engage here. The hat coming out on Pranksters. We do see the satellite vector getting Ajax by Playmaster. Not what you want to see. And the Molten Core not really getting a whole lot. We do see a 2-for-2 trade, but the rest of Thomas is just going to have to get out. Zill actually falling to Fuad.
Fuad actually putting in some amazing work on this.
Wait a minute.
Let's see if he can duel this Ana.
Fuad with a nice translocate out is going to be able to hack the Junker Queen. Misses the virus, unfortunately. The Nano coming out onto the Junker Queen. The hack coming out onto Prankster. Prankster being slept. And Thomas just going to have to take a quick fight here.
Thomas was in a good position there. Granted, they get checkpoints, so they should all get good spawn. But Ana was just able to sit high ground and just...
Kind of just do what you wanted.
Everyone but the tank who dropped died, and everyone who stayed high ground, the Ana lived.
Exactly.
Of HP pool. But Thomas, you're going to want a quick fight here. Don't give him the checkpoint. It's really important that you don't. Switching over to the Ram now. Pranksters, I hope, comfortable on it.
I hope so, too. A little bit of stall on there. Fuad with an ICP cancels the satellite vector from Zill and actually gets a huge EMP. And that's going to be a very quick fight win for Thomas. Exactly what they need. But now they can't afford to give anything else out.
Thomas needs to double their distance in overtime. Granted, you have overtime spawns. You have the checkpoint. You didn't give the checkpoint to them, so it's going to be a little... You're going to probably get to the checkpoint before the fight starts. Overtime spawns makes this around maybe 2-3 team fights you need to win in a row, but when you only have coalescence and you run into a tire, you're running into a
rampage.
An EMP is going to be really hard.
Yep, and there's the ante onto it. I mean, Wumbus is just going to fall here, and I mean, that's just a wrap. And the tire to finish off the last two that are left alive, and I mean, that's just it. I mean, it was looking so good for Thomas there, but unfortunately,
they didn't get full cap. So I think they should be really happy about that. They tried something new. They moved over trying to predict the diva play, but the problem was they just didn't play diva. Granted, Prankster's
on the balls.
Success on the wrecking balls.
I mean, here, I mean,
actually, I'd love to see a bit more wrecking ball from this team. Just be able to follow up on with Fuad and things like that. And
I think it fits the Sombra a lot better.
Yeah, but you're just kind of stuck in this Jekyll and Hyde kind of composition of trying to play poke and trying to play dive. I get that it's the heroes that you're comfortable on, but you're gonna find so much success if you expand your hero pools and just kind of find one type of and just kind of work on one type of composition. But GG for Thomas, for Champlain, and for the New England Institute of Technology.
Yes.
So, amazing match for week 2, I believe.
I think it's week 2, yes.
Week 2 or 3. But we will be back
good stuff.
Thursday, I believe.
I'm trying to get that music going. Hold on. Gotta get the outro music going so I can wrap up the stream.
Of course.
You know how it is. Gotta keep up the tradition of it. But yes, very good matches overall. Both teams, you can kind of see the progression overall, especially if you're a longtime viewer of the stream overall. So you can definitely see the progression.
I am really excited to see where these teams will be in a few weeks when they've kind of been able to work together for longer. They get some of these little coordination kind of problems down. I think what is it you have a really good Sombra with Fuad. You have a really good kind of versatile tank player with Wumpus, and apparently also Playmaster or not Playmaster, Pranksters. Playmaster, of course, doing some excellent supporting, and along with Pokey, I just want to see him on something other than that Torque.
Exactly. I think expanding his pool would be the best.
Yes, but I am really excited to see what lies in the weeks ahead.
I am too. And be sure to stick around for that, because I will be streaming those, and maybe even Cargo Tokens here making a return as well.
I'd love to.
So be looking forward to that, as next Tuesday we should have a League of Legends game and a League of Legends stream. And then next Friday, same time, you will be able to watch A Team and B Team play in the NECC for Overwatch in what I believe is week 3. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this week's stream. It's very exciting, very good stuff, even if it was a little late. I apologize for that due to practice running over a little bit, but thank you all for tuning in. Please follow us on Thomas College Esports on Twitch right below, so that way you never miss a notification for when we go live. And then also follow us on Thomas Esports on Instagram and X, or Twitter, whichever you call it these days. And make sure to come watch us yet again, so that way you can support your favorite team, whether it be Thomas or the team that we are currently facing in the week. So, GG's to all the teams that played today. GG's to Thomas, and I want to thank you, Cargo Tokens, for casting yet again.
Of course, anytime. But
we are going to wrap up stream now, so enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you later. Bye-bye!